Jennifer, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Thanks so much for having me. It's nice to meet
Ex
you.
Exciting times. We have Cross now streaming on Prime Video. How's your life been so far with this drop about a week ago?
I mean, it's insane. I'm so grateful to the fans for seeing what we felt when we made it. That I can't believe 92 million people have watched our show.
Right.
It just makes me so happy. It's the dream. It's what you want. Whenever you start a show, you kind of want people to love it. And
Mm.
so we feel the love. Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's
Feel
amazing.
great.
We're gonna jump into the show in a few minutes too. I was doing some research on you. I'm very intrigued by your career so far. Acting, writing, visual art. How did this all happen to you? What made you go from all these things into right now into acting?
Oh, you know what? That's a very long answer to a short question. But I mean, I think I learned, when I was in my 40s, and that you needed to diversify.
Mm,
It just uh, having a career as an actor is a very unstable profession, especially when you live in Canada like I do. And so, especially also for women, it can be very up and down depending on your age. And so but I couldn't, because I'm an artist, I couldn't, do something else, like
mm,
I had to figure out how to sustain that for me, not just financially, but psychologically, and how is that going to work for me as a human. And so I needed to branch out and do other things that I had more control over. I mean, I think actors, unfortunately, one of the things we love about our job is that we have to do it with other people. You can't
mm.
really do it alone. And if you are doing it alone, you might need to seek some help there. But I like you have to kind of have other people around,
Yeah.
and so that can be a really hard when you don't book the jobs, when you're on, audition 100 and you haven't booked it, and you're waiting for somebody to say, go ahead, do what you love. It can be very challenging. And so I think I always tell young artists to find the other branches of your artistry that you can use when you're not booking the jobs, that keep you into your artist heart, and keep you flexing your craft, because ultimately they're all just aspects of you.
Mm. What's the goal? What's on the bucket list that you want to hit someday?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think I would love to be number one on a series. I mean, and that would be the goal.
You're
But I
close,
also,
close.
yeah, oh, that's sweet. I mean, I love films too, and I would love to be doing more film. I mean, I spent my career mostly in American television, and so I would love to be doing a lot more independent film. I've always had, when I started my career, I was in theater, and my Achilles heels was always new Canadian playwrights. Like it
Mm,
just could not resist working on those shows. And I think I just have a problem there. Although now all the new Canadian players are gonna be like, "Can I do your show? Can you do my show?" Hopefully, but I would say that's the same about screenwriters. Like I'm really interested in independent filmmakers, and their voices and their original ideas. And as a screenwriter myself, I would love to be doing more features. And so I'll just put that out there. Thanks for
cool.
asking.
Is there a specific role that you kind of hope you get your hands on someday? Like a comedy or more drama, or is there like something you want to make sure you get?
That's such a cool question, because it's not going to be an answer you expect. I mean, yeah, of course, there's a bunch of things I want to play, but the characters I really want to play are the incredibly weird fantasy sci-fi characters.
Okay.
I'm kind of obsessed. I'm a big fantasy person. I really like reading fantasy novels, and so like, yeah, there's some really incredible female characters who are strong and driven. Like, look, the Dune prophecy. Like, I look at all of those
Okay.
women in the Dune prophecy right now. I'm like, yes, yes, please, all of them.
So so you want that
Anybody
role
from
with
Lord
like
of
the
the Rings.
fancy, yeah, so the
Oh
fancy
yeah, like
clothes and everything, like
yes,
the
like the
hoods.
Viking hair and the witches. Yes, sign me up. Oh
That's
yeah, or
awesome.
like sci-fi too. I'd totally be into being a weird alien, or
That's
yeah.
amazing.
I love that stuff. I love, probably it goes to my theater roots too, because, that's the closest thing to theater I think we get in terms of, or the kind of theatrical large performances that you see
Mm,
in those kinds of shows that are required for you to have such an incredible imagination to see, beasts and dragons
yeah,
and werewolves. I mean, I'm all in. Yes, yes.
that's
So
awesome.
I'd like to be a crazy badass in some major fantasy. Yes.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Maybe we'll see it someday. How did Cross
We
come about? How did you was this like did you work with somebody? They said, "Hey, we might have a part for you," or was it an audition?
I auditioned. I auditioned probably like everybody else.
Uh,
I think it was just one of those things that whatever I auditioned for that scene in the first episode where we're at the dining table,
okay.
uh, and uh, and yeah, I just put it on tape and sent it off, and then got a call to do it again, and I did it, and then before I knew it, I was having a meeting with Nzinga Stewart, who was the director of episodes 1 and 2, and then I was having a meeting with Ben, and then it
Mm,
was done.
wow.
Yeah, it was just one of those things you just never know. You put yourself on tape over and over again, and you send, now that we're in the world of self tapes, right? We send it
Right.
out into the void and it goes off, and you never hear anything again, which is a real problem for actors because part of our how we grow and learn is getting feedback from production and from casting. And so that's been a real problem that we need to fix in our industry because it's really been a very closed loop for actors since the pandemic, and that's been really hard on us to grow or to know if we're growing.
Mm,
But I also I would say that Cross is just one of those things. I was just the right person at the right moment, and that was it, kind of what they were looking for, I guess.
mm. And what's great about this show too, it's very intense once you tune in and you watch it. Like, how did for you, like, what drew you to the role for Chief Anderson? Like, how did you decide you wanted to bring this character to life?
Well, I mean, I think I didn't know where she was going because we didn't get access to the scripts as we were shooting them, right? So,
Wow.
we would shoot them and then we would read another one and then we'd shoot it and then we'd read another one and then we'd shoot it. And we didn't know it was happening until we got there. And so there's something really, you can't really prepare for something you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm,
But what I could prepare with is sort of what is the life of an American female chief of police who's like broken through the glass ceiling and really in a very, very male dominated profession. And so I spent a lot of time researching those incredible women. And it was never a similar path. They all had very different paths to get there.
mm,
But they all had ambition, they all had determination, they all had grit. Grit was like the key. If Anderson has anything, she has grit. That's what I would say.
mm. I like how too she's like the relationship between like Anderson and Alex Cross, like how would you describe that relationship?
I would say there is a deep respect underneath acrimonious relationship. They both like to be right, which
Mm,
is a problem.
yeah,
you know,
I did notice that.
marriages like that, they don't work out so well. So I think Anderson really respects Cross. I think she knows he's an incredible detective, but I also think she has ambitions for herself that knows that he could be trouble for her if
Mm,
because he's a rule breaker, right? Like he doesn't like to
yeah.
follow the rules. And so that could, you know, for a female chief she's the top dog, he breaks the rules. It's her head that rules, not his, right?
Mm, mm,
So I think because she has ambitions for herself, I think she's worried about how she's going to manage Cross.
mm.
I don't know if you've got to episode 6 yet, where we have
No,
a
not yet.
very, very intense little exchange. And we really go at it there. And that's like the height of their relationship for sure in that scene. But then there's a scene in episode 8 that you get to see another side of their relationship, which is very, very different than the Anderson that you've seen in the whole season. And it's just a little window into the fact that this is a person. she has a job to do, but she's also a person. She's a
Mm.
grandmother, she's a mother, she cares about Cross, and she is worried about him. Um, and so uh, like I think the thing I love about Ben and the writers on our show is that they're writing very complicated characters for the long game. They're
Mm.
not writing a character for a season. They're
Yeah.
writing characters for multiple seasons and multiple avenues, and they're laying the pipe for what is to come.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. You mentioned earlier how you were reading scripts and then you filmed. When you read the part of Chief Anders is going to run for mayor, what went through your mind?
I was like, what? She's what? Oh no. Yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. I mean, I think that's a really interesting plot twist, but it
Mm.
also explains things. Like it gives you, gave me a real clear insight into her ambition, right?
Mm.
Into what she's going to put up with. Because if she sees herself above this job, if the chief of police is not the top, that the mayor is top, and
Yeah.
then maybe the governor, like she sees a ladder that she's climbing. Cross could derail that ladder for her.
Mm.
So there's a reason to try and keep him under control, because if she loses her job, if he blows things up and she gets fired, then her political ambitions are over.
Yeah.
So it gave me a really clear insight into why she does the things she does, that she's trying to save her neck as well.
Mm. And if we see a season two and you're the mayor, then no more chief outfit either. Something else.
Thank God. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, when you do see her out of the chief uniform in
Yeah, yeah.
episode 5 and in episode 8, and yeah, but that'd be very nice to not wear that outfit. Although I have a lot of respect for that outfit, and there's a real, there's a real formality to the whole uniform process.
Mm.
There's a certain way that certain things have to be, and it always has to be the same. And that hat, like it's a really interesting. But funny, we all the clothes we were getting from actual, uniform distributors, people who make
Yeah.
uniforms across the world, and they don't make them for women. They really don't. Like
Mm.
it was a shocking, like, wow, these are men's shirts, men's pants, these are men's jackets, these are men's hats. And
Right.
I'm like, wow, here's the patriarchy right in my face, that we would constantly be altering the outfits
Mm.
because she was. And so if you look at chiefs, just remember that they're reminded every day that they are in a man's job because of what they're wearing.
Mm. Is there anything you would change about Anderson? Like if the creator said, "Hey, here, write something down," which is or would you add something about her?
Uh, I would love to see Anderson have a vulnerable moment.
Mm.
Um, uh, we do see one in 8. We do see a little bit of it in episode 8, but I think that they can go further and let us see a side of her that we haven't or wouldn't see. Um, a part maybe where she's scared or vulnerable, or um, we could also. I'd love to see her when she's like in love, or there's so many aspects to
Right.
humanity that you just, if you're interested in a person, you want to know how they tick, show all sides of them, and or find a way to. And so hopefully
Yeah. Or even like a
we'll
little
get a
background
chance.
story and more about her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the great thing about season 1 is you've been introduced to a whole host of characters
Mm.
who I think the show is committed to growing. You just aren't going to know which one they're going to grow next.
Mm.
But I think because, you're going to see everybody in season 2. And you'll see who they're growing in season 2. Right. And then, but just hold on, because, if we get a season 3, you're going to see a whole new story too, right? That's the great thing
Right.
about the show, is that it really does end. The serial killer story ends at the end of the season, and he'll move on to another case in season 2. But the characters will still remain, and grow as well.
Amazing. Have you started filming season 2 yet, or was that already filmed too?
We have finished shooting
Wow.
season two.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when do they think they might release that? Next year sometime or a few
I
months?
don't know. I hope
Yeah.
soon. Actually, I
Yeah.
really hope for the fans that it's sooner rather than later
Right.
because, I mean, why not? We got it. Let's
Got it.
let it out of the bag, you know.
That,
I
that's
would
great.
love them to release it. I'm sure it'll be sometime next year.
Mm. Jennifer, what's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us about that you got coming up? What's the plan?
Yeah, I work on another show. It's a kids show from England called Mallory Towers, and it's just season five. The other half of season five is just dropped on BBC iPlayer, and I've just finished shooting season six of that as well. So that'll come out next year too. I'm heading into a bargaining for my union. I'm representing my union at the bargaining table, just the same way that SAG-AFTRA had their negotiations. We're also in the process of that with the producers here in Canada. And I'm also working on my screenplay, which I've been writing for a while now. And I'm going into a really beautiful writers lab intensive, which is a group from America that are for women over 40, writers, women over 40, female identifying. And so I'm going into an intense writing period with a group of incredible women who are going to help me work on my script. And then it's going to be Christmas, and I'm going
That's
to,
right. The year's
uh,
flying.
yeah, right. And then, hopefully, New Year will bring new opportunities and new projects. Yeah.
Amazing. Jennifer, how
Maybe
can
that
the
cool feature film that we were
there you
just
go.
talking about.
How can the viewers and listeners now find you on social media to keep up with you with everything that you post out there?
Well, you can always find me on Instagram at Jennifer Wigmore. You can find me at jenniferwigmore.com. You can also find my art there too, my visual art as at Jennifer Wigmore Art. Yeah, I'm on Instagram a lot, so you can
There you
find
go.
me there easily. Yeah.
Jennifer, thank you for giving me a few minutes today. This was great. When Cross season 2 comes out, let's continue on with this chat about Anderson.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you about it then.